30%. 30% they went up. The biggest increase in history. It was then. Not really.
What's wrong with you? What's wrong with y'all? You niggas are crazy.
President Joe Biden gave his last State of the Union address before the election last night, and all I have to say is ghetto. Oh, the GOP is ghetto. But first things first, Biden was energized. In fact, so much so, Trump was inspired to tell on himself. Here's a pro tip. Never be the first one to mention drugs. Biden, on the other hand, never mentioned Trump at all.
A president, my predecessor,
out here acting like Trump is Voldemort or R. Kelly. We just not gonna mention his name at all. Now, Biden, he coughed a lot.
Benefit millions of lives all across America.
But that was to be expected.
Better America.
As was Republican haterism throughout the speech. Let's be honest, whatever party holds the White House, they act like everything out of his mouth is the first time they ever heard Thriller, while the other side sounds like they overhearing a freestyle at the barbershop from Lil Yachty. But we can't even stand for curing cancer, MAGA Mike?
That we can do big things, like end cancer as we know it, and we will.
Cold-blooded. And Dems, you got your next ad. But I actually felt bad for Mike Johnson up there trying to keep a straight face while these badass kids, also known as his caucus, acts a fool.
That he owes to American people, the duty to care. I think that's unforgivable.
But it got worse.
Year before I took office, murder rates went up 30%. 30% they went up. The biggest increase in history. It was then, through no...
Look at Mike's face. Like, boy, if you don't sit your ass down, don't you embarrass me in front of these people. I done told you.
Year before I took office, murder rates went up 30%. 30% they went up. The biggest increase in history.
But this is my favorite. Look at Kamala Harris's face, though. Mwah, beautiful. Like, who let the riffraff in? That is the dismissive condescension of a black woman watching the very stereotype you pin her with.
Year before I took office, murder rates went up 30%. 30% they went up. The biggest increase in history.
I have seen more decorum at an Eagles game after they melted down. Angry white men. It's sad, really. You know what? We need more fathers in the home. That's what we know, because they don't have enough positive male role models. But nobody, I mean nobody, embarrasses themselves like Marjorie Taylor Greene.
Citizen, I'm a gun owner. I have a concealed carry permit. I carry a gun for protection for myself, and you are using your lobby and the money behind it and the kids to try to take away my Second Amendment rights. You don't have anything to say for yourself?
Sorry, that was the wrong clip. That was her harassing Parkland teen survivors.
Why don't you go talk about Jewish space lasers, and really, why don't you fuck off? How about that?
Sorry, that was also the wrong clip. That was earlier in the week. Now, there we go. This is how she attended the State of the Union. Now, you might be asking yourselves, everybody dresses up for this occasion. Why would she come out here looking like Prince Hakeem from Coming to America? And you would be right. In fact, as Congressman Jamie Raskin let us know, This is in fact against the rules. But apparently she asked to speak to the manager and he okayed her sitting in the crowd looking like a hateful Walmart greeter.
Mr. President, look over here, Mr. President.
Yeah, Joe, that's how we all reacted when we saw a U.S. Congresswoman dressed like Georgia's biggest Girl Scout at the State of the Union address. We've all been there before. You go out in public and you see somebody out of the corner of your eye just got a touch of the Marjorie Taylor Greenes. What do? You just go about your business and try and avoid eye contact. Wasn't that sister the most talkative woman in the room? Lady, don't you see? We trying to avoid Satan's safety patrol over here. Let Joe keep moving.
I'd be a winner.
Ah, thank you. I mean, what she wears is one thing, but at least she shows the proper respect and dignity for the occasion and the office.
I'd be a winner. Not really. Lincoln Riley, an innocent young woman who was killed by an illegal. That's right. But how many of the thousands of people being killed by illegals? To her parents, I say, my heart goes out to you, having lost children myself. I understand.
By the way, Joe, it was Lincoln Riley. Lincoln Riley is about to get mopped up in the Big Ten. But I digress. Help me with something, Republicans. Aren't y'all supposed to be conservatives looking to uphold American values and standards?
Duty to care. I think that's unforgivable. 30% they went up. The biggest increase in history. It really.
Well, when did y'all become this ghetto? Never mind, we know it was 2016. Well, at least you feel some remorse after the fact.
But here's what offended me. Here's what I found to be outrageous.
Here's what offended you. Here's what offended you. You made all of America watch you interrupt the president dressed like a MAGA trash can. And you're offended?
But here's what offended me. Here's what I found to be outrageous is Sergeant at Arms came up and told me that I needed to take the hat off. And I said, I'm not taking the hat off. I refused to take it off. And he said, well, it's decorum. I said, I certainly understand. You do what you need to do. I'll pay a fine. I'll do whatever, a warning, whatever there is. But I'm not taking the hat off. And he said, well, you're going to have to leave, or we're going to take you out. And I was like, you can haul me out of here. Go ahead and try it, but I'm not taking this hat off. And I told him, I'm elected by my district. This is the people's house. I will wear this hat. I will wear it here in the House floor because my district supports President Trump, supports Make America Great Again policies, and supports me wearing this hat. I'm not taking it off, and I'm not leaving.
Well, Sergeant at Arms needs to be Sergeant Unemployment. I mean, what good are the rules if you don't enforce them? That's like having a whole tax code and the rich people not abiding by it.
Republicans can cut Social Security and give more tax breaks to the wealthy. That's the proposal. Oh, no. You guys don't want another $2 trillion tax cut? I kind of thought that's what your plan was. Well, that's good to hear.
I'm honestly surprised Lauren Boebert didn't raise a stink. We know her and Greene rolled together. And she is not afraid of the law. And she will make a scene in public. What was she up to this whole time? Well, at least we know where her hands were.